you guys. It's me, Dr. Torie. My book is officially out. And yes, it is time to talk about ACEs. You guys can find the books everywhere. However, I would encourage you guys to go to my website, Be VicTORIEus.com, and place your order today. Yes, it's time to talk about ACEs. Let's go, y'all.
Hello, 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 you guys. Welcome to another episode of Be Victorious. This is actually part two of an episode that we really need to listen to. You guys, we've been talking about ACEs for 30 years, but this young lady has really been talking about ACEs for 30 years. She is a board certified health practitioner from Kaiser Permanente. And when I tell you she is 30 years in, she is 30 years in. Diana, where are you? Look at
Good morning, Miss. How are
and
you, Dr. Torie?
I'm here. I am excited to be with you. It's been a great week. I don't know if you know, but you've ignited some things here. You've sparked a discussion that needs to happen. We cut the chase and went immediately to the source. And I have been talking to my new best friends all week. It's an amazing thing because you all have to understand, the listeners, the people that are watching, this is history in the making. This is discussion that has been going on since 1995.
Yes, ma'am. Before actually he started doing, Dr. Foley started the work probably 5 years before that. Yep.
Yep. And to see that we're finally, after 30 years, because we're going to make it happen. I'll tell you, I know who's going to make it happen because we have to continue to have these conversations. We're bringing awareness to ACEs that has never happened before. And I think the great thing is we're having the conversations, we're connecting our communities, we're bringing awareness to something that should have been brought a long time ago. So we had to have this discussion, you guys, have a part two because we got so deep and it resonated with both of us that we have to continue to have these conversations because we know how healing goes. And honestly, for someone that knows about ACEs, if you understand your ACEs and you understand your ACEs score, you'll learn how to heal. Trust me. It comes with education. And so here we are having this conversation. Diana, welcome back.
Thank you so much. It's so exciting to be here because to your point, we are finally having all of these important conversations. And I'll tell you something. So Dr. Folletti, who is the pretty much the biggest part of the story, it was interesting. He was not well received after he figured out what was going on. So when he started to figure out, connect the dots with ACEs and understand why people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s had such horrible health, he would, yeah, everybody he got a lot of people turning their backs on him, even within the organization, because nobody wanted to touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's a personal problem. That's not our problem. And people were frightened because it brought up their own stuff. So within the medical community, why it's dragged out so long before we're now feeling like we can do this openly, strangely enough, is because people just, especially within the research and medical community, thought it was a taboo subject. I'm just letting you know. So that's why I'm like giddy that you and I are having these conversations.
We're going to talk about it, okay?
Mhm.
And I think that's what I love because I wrote a book. Let's talk about it. How come we are not talking about it? And so going into communities where I know it's needed, we
Mhm.
have to, because why not? Why not have this conversation? So that's where it started with me. Now I will share, I do lunch and learns live on Instagram on Thursday. They're pretty good. People really come with their paper, pencil, ready to learn. And I was explaining to them the difference between childhood trauma and ACEs because it's been a big deal. I've had some people kind of get off on me about that, but I let them know in regards to ACEs, it's a medical term. It resonated in medical books, in journals, that type of thing. So I didn't get out like it should have. So I gave the example of my dissertation and said, this is really the book, you guys. What I did was just add my story to this. And this is the reason why people are grabbing it so quickly because it resonates that way. And
Oh
so
yeah.
when I presented it that way, it was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Well, let me tell my story then. Or me
Yeah.
saying, well, you guys, I'm a first generation high school graduate, honestly. And I graduated with a doctorate degree
Hmm.
too. And it's like, well, what did you do? I understood my ACEs. Well, what's ACEs?
Yep.
And I will say, Diana, what resonated with me is we've never really had a global campaign or a campaign in regards to supporting ACEs either.
No, I think it's been in little wonderful folks in small places trying to do their little bit. I mean, there's a lot going on in England, which has been wonderful. Um, it is, I think for better or worse, I think COVID actually helped
Yeah,
this because people said mental health, mental health, mental health. Once it got really scary, everybody got scared about so many people passing away due to suicide. Like, oh, I guess we better pay attention. So, and if we look at the pandemic and understand it's a collective trauma. And so it adds to intergenerational trauma. And people didn't want to look at that either. So appreciating what the body holds. So telling the story is so important because we need to relieve our systems, our nervous systems of carrying the burden of pain.
exactly.
Yeah.
And let people know stress. I think that's the conversation for us as adults. So talking, we always talk about our unresolved childhood trauma. We're going to
Mhm.
come up with the name for it because it really doesn't have a name. It's
Mhm.
the adult ACEs because we don't know how to handle the ACEs that we have because we don't know what they are. And then we become adults and we're going through same things are in the ACEs categories.
Yep.
And so here we are having the conversation and saying, okay, you guys, it resonates within our body. Okay, you guys, it resonates within our stress levels. Okay, it can do this. What is the it? And I think that's the reason why people want to have the conversation. I agree with you 110%. The pandemic was the eye opener
Mhm.
because I agree when the CDC made those updates in 2023, that's when the light bulb went off for me.
Right.
Now, I And I'll share when I completed my dissertation, I completed it in the middle of COVID. So it
Okay.
also didn't get the,
Hmm.
but I will shout out Chicago because Chicago saw it. And when Chicago saw that I endured through the pandemic, they created this big, big billboard. It's set right on I-57 and 94. So there's um, intersection that goes to Indiana and it goes to Memphis. And here I am like this, graduated with a, doctorate. And I think people saw that. I think they saw that more than anything in the city of Chicago, that there's this Black woman on this billboard and she's done something in the middle of this pandemic that, because I didn't get to graduate until 2 years after I received my doctorate degree. So again, no recognition, no but let's put it out there, no anything. And I kind of see how it resonated back in 1998 because it really sat on the CDC website until the pandemic woke us up.
It did, and also I think health disparities, social determinants. So people, it's interesting. We just hired a new young woman on our team, and I was giving her a history lesson about what Kaiser's all about and this, that, and the other. But I think the interesting, because she goes, I was telling her about ACEs, and she goes, "Oh, it sounds like," because she'd never heard of ACEs. And but she goes, "But it sounds like the social determinants of health." And I said, "Bingo." I said, "There would be no social determinants of health without the ACEs study. It is a genesis of
Yep.
that work." So what we now, people really are much more comfortable talking at least about understanding where people live and the resources that they have and the safety of the neighborhood and food insecurity. These things are much more easier to talk about than people in their own homes having severe dysfunction. So, yeah.
And I agree because that's the conversation that we now need to start having. Now, I
Mhm.
will share with you, I think what's working for our podcast is the fact that we have people out there that do know about ACEs and the life that they're living now, the steps that they're taking
Yep.
to
Yep.
change.
There's hope, the message of hope. It's
Yep.
always a message of hope, right? But I also think that the concern is that people feel like, okay, first and foremost, ACEs is not a diagnostic tool. We have to remember that. You are not because a lot of people will misinterpret it. It's kind of like going down the rabbit hole with WebMD. Don't self-diagnose.
Yes.
If you're going to use that ACE questionnaire, please, please, please make sure you've got the resources to do something with it. Because if you just sit with yourself with it, it could eat you up. It could
I
just
agree.
eat you up. So the responsibility that you and I and all your champions, folks have is that we need to help people guide them once they've taken it,
Yep.
so that they know how to get out of the hole, get out of that, because in and of itself, the ACEs won't get you where you want to go.
Not at all. And that's the reason why I will share and I always share and I always put that disclaimer out there for people to know I am not a therapist. I am
Right.
an educator, the ACEs educator. I keep therapists, I keep social workers, I keep those people around me for the determinants of once you get that ACEs score and you have questions, let's see. Let me educate you, and then here, let me provide you a list of resources that will be available for you in case you have questions. And I think those steps is what people need to understand because I'll share in the community, it's still that what therapy? Do I have
All right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
therapy? Is for me as an educator is the education and then the community awareness.
Oh yeah.
Because you're in circles, you're in places, you're in safe spaces where people are saying, well, yeah, I was sexually abused when I was 11.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, I'm not alone.
Mm-mm. Sadly, no. It's
I
so
mean,
much more.
and
Yeah.
that's how the conversation starts. As comparison to say, your ACE score is a 5. What's your next steps? Let's go talk to a therapist because that
Mhm.
is the issue. And I hate that, but I will ask you as the
Mhm.
expert, because you are, what are some healing strategies, habits, or support systems that have helped you?
Mhm. Mhm. Well, spirituality, huge, huge. God's grace is everything, for sure. But I think that's again, it's about the community around that and finding forgiveness of self and other, because the pain is pretty intense. Also, I'm going to tell you, obviously, because my background is in creative art therapy. Creativity, our souls need to be creative. And I love the paintings behind you. Um, it can be, so we have within us, everyone, these great gifts in us to be well. But people don't, it's not like you come with a manual and you know how to manage this stuff. But the beautiful thing about whether you sing, whether you write, doesn't matter what you write, how you write, movement, expression of any kind. It helps regulate that nervous system, which I know you've been talking about the polyvagal theory by Stephen Porges helping regulate. I think to your point, we have to appreciate the fight, flight, or freeze versus the parasympathetic. The tool, so you asked me a question is, what has helped me? And what has helped me is to understand how this body works.
Yeah.
How does this body work? What works? And to be the problem really is hard to be patient. We want to feel better now. And what's going to be great about the mentors that you have in your community is to walk with people over time, over seasons, because you've got them in your book. People can go buy books and listen to other people talk about, hey, do X, Y, and Z, which are all valid points. But it's going to look so different in your life. And we're going to hit sticking points, like the holidays are coming up. Some of it's good, some of it's not so beautiful, right? And so, as a health coach, what my job is to help you walk through that season and know that even though it may not work out the way you thought it was going to work out, just keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. Don't get stuck. So, I don't know if that was helpful.
No, it was because again, you're empowering others. You're the expert when it comes to this,
Mhm, mhm.
lived experiences are the best experiences. So people are looking for us to say,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
what's next? Well, what did you do? Like you can retire if you want to. You know what I mean? But yet you're still going. People
Oh,
want
yeah.
at and say, "Hey, well, how? How can you help? What do I need to do?" So of course, I'm always going to ask because again, as a person that advocates for adverse childhood experiences, those lived experiences are what I want to hear. I want to know
Mhm.
what you've been through because I feel, and this is just me, I went through enough for everybody. You know, I have been through a lot. So you
Yeah.
don't have to go through it. And that is what I tell my mentees, or I tell,
Yep.
that I am working with when I'm helping someone go back to school to get their doctorate degree, you know what I mean? Or whatever I'm doing during the day. You know what I mean? I have to let them know, like, listen, I've been through it. You can take my advice, you can try it yourself. However, if you don't, take my advice and move forward because at the end of the day, I just love the fact that understanding ACEs, you can actually heal if you understand.
It is the stepping stone. It's the pieces because it takes something that has it's so hard to talk about and you can't even get your head around. There are no words. And then, so that's why I mentioned in the last, when we were meeting for the first episode, was that I feel like I'm a translator for trauma because it crazy, it crazy, man. And so people like, I think when, to your point, the lived experiences, when we talk about each other's crazy, like you would get my crazy and you'd be like, oh yeah, I got even more,
Yeah.
so because, and I'll share a bit about my situation. So when I was raised in a household with two alcoholics, brilliant people, they're English professors, but if you look at their trauma, they were raised by very dysfunctional folks during the Depression. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So my father ended up being manic depressive and having a severe breakdown when I was young, tried to kill my mother. Um, and so then it blew the family up, just me, my sister, and blew up. My mother decided to move us across country. We had no money. She was selling her plasma to keep going because, yeah, so been there, done there, got my t-shirt too. And then thought, okay, well, I'm going to be all I knew to do because everybody was acting like fools, bad stuff. I decided to do the very opposite. So I decided to become very prim. And I'm going to be the best girl. I'm going to get the best grades. And I'm going to show y'all I'm not going to become you. That worked for a while. Got through grad school, got married the year before I started grad school just because I knew it would make everybody happy, right? Then my father ends up passing away due to lithium toxicity, which is the medicine that you take when you're bipolar, but he wasn't being well monitored and it killed him at 64. And that was the beginning of how I got to where I am now. I think if that event hadn't happened, because it brought me to like I fell apart. My marriage fell apart. Um, all that stuff. So I had to walk. What I tell people is you can run, but you can't hide from your stuff. And so until you start, like you can get the ACEs information, but are you ready? Are you ready for the story to be different? Are you ready to make some amends? Are you ready to have some peace with the past? Can't change how mucked up my family was, right? And the things that I could bemoan, like, oh, I didn't get this. My parents never did this. So what? You didn't get what you didn't get, right? But now I make a decision to give myself what I need and speak up and have a voice. I'm 60 years old now. So it's about time.
The generational addressing is what I am really starting to appreciate because it's I'm in my 40s. You have the 60-year-olds that are saying thank you. They're the ones that I've met that are saying thank you.
Mhm.
I knew it was something. I knew it was,
Something, yeah.
and it's, yes, like I wish I would have known. And it's like, you still can do something in your 60s.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You can do some things. So you would be surprised. A lot of the people that I'm interacting with are older than me and they want mentorship
Nice.
of the fact that they feel like they have found what they were looking for, the same way that I felt like I found out what I was looking for. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I share in their sentiments because it's a wonderful feeling. When I tell you, Diana, people send me stuff every day. I mean, every day. And I look at it because it's of value to me. It makes me know and believe that they're understanding ACEs for real. They're understanding it. So, Dr. Williams, what do you think about looking in the vaginal nerve? And it's like, you should. Yeah, if that's what you think is the reason why your body needs to heal, look into it. There are people, there are resources, there are people that talk about how the nervous system is attached to stress. Like, it's
Mhm. Oh, it's clear as day.
out there. But again, I just want to, not to say I just want to provide the education. It's like
Sure.
people are really, really learning. And I think that's the reason why the movement is moving so fast because it's like, okay, wait, hold on, hold on. I'm like, wait, hold on. If you're looking for someone that is talking about, so ADHD is connected. I feel like that is connected. Hold on a second. Let me give you three stories, episode 3 and 4,
Yeah,
because I don't, you know what I mean? It's like hard to find it, see that people are sharing their story in relation to it. I think that's the reason why it has become a valuable tool because people are making that relation because of the stories of the cycle breakers from the podcast.
I agree. And I think the beauty, the hope, again, that message, oh, it's emotional freedom is the gift. Emotional freedom is the gift that if you be brave,
Mhm.
take your time, got to be patient, but be around good people.
Yes.
Be around the good people so that it's possible because doing it by yourself, I mean, you've been alone in your own misery for how long, right? I don't want to be alone anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a good question for you.
All
So,
right.
been around, and what's something you wish people understood more about ACEs now that wasn't talked about then?
Dear. I
Or
think
not
really,
particular, but
so I think what I'm grateful for, really, I think your question's a great question, but I think it's interesting how times change, right? And as much as I like, and Dr. Felitti did this, it's like, come on, listen, listen, listen. People aren't ready until they're ready.
yes.
And so, and that is in recovery. We talk about this as well. You just never know when somebody's going to get it.
Mhm.
And so they can only get it when they are ready. So that acceptance piece. I think the other is that the we need the silence needs to stop, the secrets, the silence,
Yeah,
people keeping secrets. It is the cancer. It is cancer in us. And so I guess what I would say, really what I'm grateful for and hopeful for with how things have changed, is that people's health will improve. Because once we understand that emotional dysregulation causes inflammation in the system and the major contributor to premature death and misery. So when we're able to help people calm down, feel centered, feel safe, health improves significantly. So it's not an option not to talk about your emotional health, because your physical health is completely tied to your emotional health.
it is.
Yeah.
I I've been telling people something as easy as stopping. Just stop for a second and
Mhm. Yeah.
stop and breathe. It works for me. And it's crazy because you really never know once you do it, something as simple as that really can help. We don't even want to do that, but yet
Mhm.
if we try it
Mhm.
and it works, it's like, oh, do it again.
That's
Because
right.
doing it again, it will work and help you. So you're right. I am going to agree with you 110% because I think that's the reason why we're talking about it, because people are looking at the numbers and they're looking at mental health and they're saying, woo, woo, when we can actually do this ourselves.
We have a lot more influence on our medical health than we know that we do. And I think part of my concern about that, though, is that people will go down that rabbit hole of social media and believe whatever they read. So that is something that is a different piece. But I do know this to be true because my health is significantly improved. Um, when we sleep better, we're able to make better decisions about what we eat. When we have nutrition in our bodies, we're able to walk and be out in nature. I mean, they all go together, and it's a choice that I get to make once I understand. It's like Maya says, when I know better, do better, right?
Yes,
That's what this is.
I agree. I agree. So let's remove everything. You are at work and there's a new person and they come in and they want to heal. They've been
Mm.
and they say, I want to do this. What is the first thing that you will say to them?
The first thing I say to them is, I think it really is about, so you're coming in and you're ready. You're saying you're ready.
Right.
You're saying you're ready. We're going to do one small thing. We're going to walk slow. And I also say you are in control of what's going to happen here.
Mhm.
I may be, I'm the coach, and or also I may be the subject matter expert on stuff, but you are the subject matter expert on your own body. And so what I would say to that person is, I'm not going to be giving you answers and telling you what to do. We're going to get connected to your intuition because you know what to do. You just need, I've got a movement for it. I don't have a word for it.
Yeah.
You need love. You
Yes.
need love. So if you're ready, when people are ready to rock and roll, first, we're going to make this a safe environment. And
Yes.
second, you got to know that you're the captain of your ship.
Mhm.
You're going to be deciding where we're going.
Yep. And that to me is the reason why the educational part of it, I think is also what people are sitting and waiting for
Mm-hmm.
because we see it. I think people really want to do it. I don't think people are doing it because it's the thing to do. I really think,
They want me to feel
yeah,
better.
yeah. I a year and a half ago was told that I had a brain tumor.
Mm.
And I've had to sit with this for a whole year. So sitting with it, Diana, and I'm sharing this with you, just sitting with this for this whole year has been an emotional toll
Mm.
because it's like, well, let's figure out what your next steps are. So the stress of trying to figure out what the next steps were with someone with ACEs.
Mhm.
Everything, everything, everything. And ever since I found out that it's not a brain tumor, it's a brain hernia, I have been up, walking, running, eating, doing everything. Because I know that eating is my source. I'm not gonna tell a story. I gained some pounds. I did. I did.
Mhm.
I did.
Mhm.
I knew that because again, I know about ACEs. I know, when we get into those funks and we get into those situations where we're depressed or our anxiety is high or things like that, we're going to resort to what we love. I love to eat. Love it, love it. I know what happened, but I still couldn't get my mind around the fact that I had this tumor. I tried to be as positive as possible, but I don't know if it's benign. I don't know if it's cancerous. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, and nobody's telling me anything. But when I tell you I've lost 12 pounds, all because the diagnosis changed.
Mhm. Sure.
That's the reason why I always start and let people know as far as the introduction to ACEs, it did start from a weight loss clinic.
Oh yeah.
And people are like, wow, why you say that? So what you trying to say? Well, think about it. I have to make it relatable so people can understand.
Mhm.
What goes wrong? What's the first thing we do?
Gotta eat our feelings, man.
Instead of
Yep.
grabbing that fruit, we're going to grab chips. We're going to McDonald's.
Yep.
On all these places that's going to help us or help us feel good.
Mhm.
That's what resonates. I always provide an example. I hate it, but I'm a teacher. I can't help it. I have to have something that they resonate with for them to understand.
Well,
It works.
Dr. Torie, don't you think that also, I think in our mentoring is the reality is that once you know about ACEs, it's not a done deal. It's not a one and done, my friends.
Mm-mm.
It is you, it is in your cellular structure. It is who you are. And I think the other thing is that we have to appreciate that as much as we'd like to be our best selves all the time, when you get hit or hit a concrete wall with a brain tumor diagnosis, it's going to throw you. And how couldn't it? So I think that it's great. These stories are important and the mentorship is important because people need to know this is not going to be necessarily a beautiful walk.
I tell people this work
Yeah.
that we're doing is not for the weak. And I say
No.
it when I say it, I make sure I emphasize not with my facial, because Diana, I know you know by now I'm a little extra. Not for the weak, because it's not. It's not. It's not. That's just like anything. People wanting to lose the weight. If you want to commit to doing it, do it. I feel like it's the same way when it's time to understanding. If it's something you really want to do, let's commit to it and do it.
And for the rest of your life, it is the way we can't just think that I mastered it. That's what I've seen with many, especially in weight management. When people start, they look better and they're like getting all this compliments and things like that. I got this under control. Da 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 da. And then I see you a year later because it didn't go the way you thought it was going to go, and you needed your food again.
Yep.
You needed your food again. So yeah.
But that's the reason why. like how we talked about earlier, things like creative writing.
Yes.
Because I linked ACEs with extracurricular activity because it worked for me when I had my ACEs. I
Mhm.
knew when I was younger and I was struggling to go and dance. I love bands because surprisingly, I was in a band.
That's great. Would you play?
The alto saxophone. I was the first.
Yeah.
And people, like, what? Are you serious? You played that? I'm like, yeah, I went to performing arts high school. Let's be clear. I seriously auditioned to get in this school because the school that we were at, I know, I used to fight all the time. But that was me getting my anger out and catching the attention of family when I was younger. Of course, I can tell that story because I know, but people don't get it. So when I go into schools and I see the kids that are doing the same thing,
Mhm.
so that's why it works. It works because that awareness really can help people heal. That education can really help people heal. But you have to know. So that was the reason why I asked when people are starting their healing journey, we have a lot of people that don't even want to heal.
No.
It's
I
unfortunate.
mean, yeah, it's sad, and yet, I think the thing that breaks my heart when people make that decision because they they don't think they can do it, or whatever comes to the mind, is that if you do have family or children, what you've done by not getting that change in the family is that you haven't given them any freedom to see. And so we have a responsibility once we know, right? Um, to make that change and own it as well. I mean, because I'm not perfect, you're not perfect. This I've had some bad days recently.
Yeah.
Um, but if when we do make the decision, then people around us, it doesn't even have to be blood family. It's community. When people see that you're willing to do that,
Yes.
it's a community healing, right?
Yep.
So to your point, I mean, there are going to be folks that just and you got to love on them, and they're not able to do it, whatever that is, without judgment, let them be. But in general, when we create these communities, we can love on each other, and the story changes. The story
Yep.
changes.
And it's going to continue to change, but we can control the narrative. We can. And I
Mhm.
and I'm not going to keep saying I think we're doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, 30 years ago, you were a part of this.
Yep.
Here it is, 30 years later, you're
Yep.
a part of it, but you're a part of the Be Victorious movement. So
Do I get to join?
I would love for you to. I think it'd be so cool. You know why? Because my best friend, we've established this wonderful relationship, me and Dr. Almond. And when I tell you, we have more in common than we actually like. He's a transformational leader. And I'm like, do you know? He was like, no, do you know? And I'm like, no, do you know? So this is where we're at this point. You know what I mean? Because our stories are the same, our passions are the same. I never thought I would meet somebody that loves aces more.
Oh my gosh, that man is amazing.
Oh my God.
Love him.
But I will tell you, I think the movement that is sparked now, I think we're catching on, and people are catching on the fact that we're combining communities. We're doing what we need to do because
Me too.
what we missed then, I think we can get now. I know
Well,
I see it. I see
and
it.
God bless Brian. I mean, it's been an uphill battle for that man. And he's never given up. He's gone through so many different chapters of this story, and has been a voice for ACEs. But to be honest with you, I think the time now is right. It wasn't right before. And also, I'm going to say, I think merging with communities of color, and it's a different story. It's a better story when we we find the things that we are similar
Yeah. See,
together.
I don't think you guys know, and it's because you know Dr. Torie, that I am a product of ACEs. You know what I mean? I am the product of understanding ACEs. I am
Right.
the product of I would love for them to know that their work is walking. You know what I mean? Like I haven't had that chance because we've been, talking.
Why do you think why I found you,
Yeah, and
sister?
I think that's what he's been saying to me. But again, as someone
The
would
same. I found you on Instagram
say, he did.
and I was like, hallelujah, yay. It gave me, because like I haven't known what to do with my aces. I've been on other podcasts. It didn't really, people weren't like wanting it or whatever, whatever. And so I can just imagine Brian being so ecstatic. But you need to know how excited I was to see the work that you're doing.
I'm
And I
humble.
feel like thank the Lord that this is happening because it's what we've needed.
Yes,
But
that's what
we are here, Brian and I, Dr. Fullity, God bless him, he's amazing still.
I'm not
Nine.
saying like, I mean, no knock on his wife. Sorry, if
Uh-huh.
he was my baby, he looks good, and I'm only
Ah!
saying that because you got to think about it. When we were doing this research and we were doing this, it was past, and to see
Yeah,
that we're making the attempts to continue to do it. I told him, I said, I'm not going to hold my tongue. I want to be a part. I want to sit at the table because
well, we're here with you.
yeah, I think that's what I love because it's working. People are talking about ACEs globally and not hiding it at all. There are pastors,
Hmm.
and that was one thing that I will say because there's still some sensitivity in faith and religion, but I can tell you my pastor is having a conversation about ACEs. I have people that I have worked with that their pastors are having conversations. So the faith, I honestly think, Diana, that's what brought us all together because
I agree. I agree.
my
Well, and I know I'm just like so psyched because Brian has been, like I said, he's given his life to this work. And for us to find our way to you and you to us has been such an amazing thing. And I am so thankful that we've done that because we're here for you.
thank you.
And anyway, if I can be of any use, let me know.
What we're going to do because again we have a powerful community. I've introduced a lot of people because again I want to continue to educate and do what I do. However, there are people out there are coaches that know about ACEs, there are social workers that know about ACEs because remember I started in a classroom. Educators know about ACEs. We're doing trainings. He introduced me to the app. I love it. I think what we're going to do within the next couple of months, it's going to change lives for real. I think this is what we need in order to take the steps because the research is valid. It's out there, it's proven. There hasn't been a chance, but people like me, people like
Mhm.
you, people like the people that have been on this podcast.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I think that's what happens. I told them on Thursday when diabetes had a campaign, it was a big deal. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was out there getting their test. Everybody was doing this. Everybody was doing that. Because we've never had a campaign about it, I think that ACE's ambassador awareness campaign can really work because it
It'll
brings
work.
awareness to something that we really need to bring awareness to. And the people that I love it. It's humbling to me when people of the older generation say, "Thank you for saving my life," just
Hmm.
educating them on something that I was educated on because I wanted to know what was wrong with my childhood trauma back in the day. This was when I tell the kids, like in 1995, we didn't have WWW. We didn't have HTTP.
Yep, yep, yep.
We didn't. We had encyclopedias. We had VHS. And I have a picture with Dr. Feliti and Dr. Allman with the
Mhm.
VHS tapes.
Yep. Those interviews, the interviews with his patients. Yep.
So I'm doing what he has been doing for 30 years. This is an amazing thing. Just the revelation, the proof, the documentation, you guys, is enough for me to know. Yeah, this has to be a conversation that has to continue. And I'm going to do my best with this wonderful, of course, producer of mine, because he is just as busy as left shoes, but nonetheless, we're going to do it. He has believed in me and have met me when my aces were, so he knows my story. So to say this is, I think this is how you get this out here. This is what you do. This is how our community started. This is what we've been doing. And of course, you've already been a part of it. You see the wonderful people. When we jump on, we jump on. Yes, I've educated them. Yes, I've trained them. Yes, I've talked to them. But they're good, and they're bringing in their wonderful communities. When Lisa talks on Tuesday, Lisa's actually in Canada. I was told that Canada is the one of the most diverse countries out here. You know what I mean? But they are talking about ACEs, and we know that it was the second largest study in the United States. But I want them to know how global their impact really is. Because I know for a fact you all can do this. I know I'm saying you all, we
Yep.
can
Yep.
do this. We can do this. And we are doing it.
Well, and just think about what can happen from this. The beauty of what can happen, Dr. Torie, when people feel seen, heard, respected, safe,
Mhm.
we get the ramifications of that are huge. And so it blows my mind what the potential is.
I think that's what it is.
And I think when people are not in psychic pain, then they become better parents, they become better people, they become stronger within their communities at work.
Mhm.
The rate of violence is reduced. I mean, Dr. Felitti actually did I forget where that piece of the study is, but he showed the correlation between incarceration and ACEs, right? So when we heal the ACEs, then we heal so many different things. People become better human beings, bottom line. And so what is more important than that?
Exactly. We actually had during our ACEs International Awareness Conference, interviewed a couple. They were incarcerated when they were young,
Mhm.
stayed together. I mean, when I mean poster children for ACEs, poster children. Amanda even had children in jail. So her kids were in jail. They
Yeah.
were in, shared their story. They have one of the Be Victorious Foundation definitely supports their non-for-profit. It's called 300 Letters. They wrote 300 letters in between each other while they were
Oh, wow.
incarcerated throughout the years.
Uh-huh.
Like that needs to be discussed. You know what I mean? Like they go to their service is going to jails, talking to the inmates, letting them know. They talk about ACEs, then I love that, of course. But there are compassion prison projects. I really want them to know that the work that they have done over the 30 years, it's out here.
Yeah.
You just need to identify, unite, and
Yes.
keep it moving, because I'm telling you, Compassion Prison Project is one of them. People are out in the communities. When we were there for the awareness conference, Lisa donated her books to a women's shelter. You know, there are things that are under the ACEs. I always do my umbrella under the ACEs umbrella that we can identify, bring awareness to, and identify those steps in order to heal. So I've, of course, if you all haven't caught on, you all know that Diana is with our community. She's been with our community. She has been a part of Be Victorious Foundation supporting. She has watched us. What I love is this is what we are doing. You guys, we're going to make a movement out of this because, again, everybody keeps saying, damn, you did it so fast. You did it so quick. What's next? We have next steps. Oh, because I've watched it. We've watched people heal. We've watched more and more people. The last podcast we did with Renee was someone that I met in another group, and she didn't know about ACEs. So I went through the steps, with her, and she learned, and she was like, I'm telling you, I think it's an amazing thing. More people need to do it. How can I help? So for those who are looking for ways to understand and help, go to BeVicTORIEus.com. We have tons of information. You all are about to see a whole face change on BeVicTORIEus.com, seriously, because Be Victorious Foundation, there are so many people that want to connect. We're supporting so many people. We just supported Meerkat Impact. It's a mentorship foundation. I mentor I mentor a lot of people. We sponsored this race, the suicide awareness race walk. And there were people, there were schools, there were organizations that came. They had affirmation walls. There's so many safe spaces that we can create. We just need to identify. We need to really get out in the community. And I promise there are people that are doing it, you guys. So if you did not know, we have to continue to have these conversations, because these are the conversations that are bringing awareness to communities and empowering them to grow. And that's what we want to continue to do in order to understand that ACEs, it's not anything wrong with a score. Like how Diana said, it's not a determining factor. It doesn't identify, or it's not an evaluation tool. What it is an awareness tool.
Yep.
That's all it is, to give you some type of next steps. And we have people out here that can help you with your next steps. So this is what you guys have to understand. You'll see plenty of us. This is just one episode of Be Victorious Foundation in our work, because Be Victorious podcast has been an educational tool that has been out here for 5 years. So understand, you guys, this is what we need. Come have a seat at our table. Come have a conversation with us, because ACEs is here. It's not the end of the world. It is just an identifying factor. 1 in 3, 63% have a score. Let's get this score. Let's do what we need in order to help you heal. Diana, did you have anything you wanted to say to our community? Let us know what we need to do, and let them know how they can find you, because I know them. They're good. They're going to reach out to you.
Right on. I know. So I don't have a huge social media presence, or footprint, but you can find me on LinkedIn. So that's a great way to connect. Yeah. I think we're connected on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other, I would just say with all my heart, how much I love you all, and that you're not walking alone. Just know you're not alone, and we're here for you. And it gets better. It gets better.
We are having we have, of course, plenty of things going on in our communities, but our ACEs Awareness Conference will be in Dallas, the 9th through the 11th. Will you join us?
The 9th through the 11th of October.
Oh, of April
Oh,
2020.
of April. What? Yeah, you didn't tell me what month, sister.
You're gonna get all the emails. You're gonna get everything.
Right on. I would be very happy to join you.
I
That
think,
would be cool. You want to meet in person?
why would not? I'm gonna see you before. I'm gonna meet you before then. Let's be clear.
So
No, absolutely. Because we got work to do. I
we
think
do.
it's so funny, because everybody's like, "Oh my God, Dr. Torie, you're amazing." I'm like, "Yeah, you too. Let's get to work, because we
Yeah. All right.
work to do." So that's what it is. I had to put there are so many people that are, of course, speakers that are out there that are advocating for ACEs. They're like, "Come on, Dr. Torie, with this date." So I had to get the date out there.
Okay.
Of course, more information will follow. But yes, we're going to
I
stand,
would love to.
it's going to be great. I'm telling you, last year there were so many powerful speakers. There were so many panels. The connections is what I think solidified the community for me, because they connected. And when they connected, it was like, wow, oh, very good. Because it was so packed that some of the speakers didn't even get a chance because they were engaged in other people's rooms. So
Mhm.
even some of the speakers weren't even able, they were supposed to speak, but it was like, no, I think I lost my session when I was in the session with somebody else because it's like really good. I'll work that type of thing out. I'll work out the organization of that because I had a couple of those. But yes, we
We
had.
would love to. Maybe Brian will join us. What do you
No,
think?
no, that's my new best friend, and he's already
Yeah.
on his schedule. When I mean, we instantly clicked. I mean, I don't think it was anything disingenuous about it at all. I think it was like, oh man, where you been all my life? Like, no, where have you been? Because the commonality of everything that we have, I really want them to know because I don't hide it any other time that I'm a product of ACEs. I advocate for ACEs. It wasn't for me understanding ACEs awareness, I wouldn't be who I am today. I think they need to know that. And I shared and it's like, no, Dr. Torie, you're amazing. I'm like, no, I don't know who y'all know if y'all know who y'all are, because I think that's the reason why it's going to work this time. And I'm saying not that it didn't work last time. It did. It really did. But like you said, with everything that went on around that time, including the pandemic, I think it took for the pandemic to ignite the conversation. And 30 years later, yeah, let's start it. Let's get
Yeah.
it. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Yeah, that's how we click, y'all. Y'all don't understand. Okay, okay. All right, back to it. Another wonderful episode. You will see Diana again. You
Oh
will
boy.
see us together. You guys will see us doing wonderful work in our community. So we thank you guys for another episode of Be Victorious, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye bye, you guys.